Your AI just told a customer something that isn't true. It didn't glitch. It didn't warn you. It said the same way it says everything correct. Calm, fluent, certain. The mistakes don't look like mistakes. And today, we go through why AI makes things up. Let's name it first. When an AI states something false, as if it were fact, we call it hallucination. Not a bug in the code, not a typo. A confident, fluent, but wrong answer. And here's the bit that people get wrong about it. A hallucination isn't the AI malfunctioning, it's the AI doing exactly what it was built to do. Remember the foundation from lesson 1? A language model is a predictor, not a database. It doesn't look facts up in a table. It generates the most likely next words, one after another. So when it knows the answer, because it saw it in training, or you handed it a document, it predicts the right words. And when it doesn't know, it still predicts the most likely sounding words. It doesn't suddenly stop and say, I have no record of this. It just produces a fluent answer that fits the shape of a real one. That's a hallucination, not a lie. Lying needs intent. Just a plausible guess, delivered with the same confidence as a fact. In 3 steps, here's the whole problem. You ask, the model has no real answers, so it gives a confident guess. We'll unpack each step, but hold that shape in your head. Here's the picture that makes it click. Imagine a brilliant improviser on stage. The one rule of improv is never break the scene. Whatever you're handed, you keep going. You stay fluent, you never freeze. Imagine that improviser has read almost everything. Millions of books, sites, conversations. Ask them something they genuinely studied and they're brilliant, accurate, sharp, useful. Ask them about your company's refund policy, something they were never shown, and they don't stop the scene to say, I don't know that one. They do what improvisers do. They give you a confident, plausible answer that sounds exactly right. Same tone, same fluency, same certainty. That's your AI. It's not trying to deceive you. It's trying to continue the scene, to produce the most rational sounding response. And crucially, being smart doesn't fix this. A cleverer improviser just gives more convincing wrong answers. That's why hallucinations are dangerous. The better the model gets, the harder they are to spot. So let's walk the actual mechanism. This is the heart of it. You ask a question, the model takes your words and starts predicting a response, one chunk at a time. At every step, it's asking the same thing. What's the most likely next piece of text? Now, here's the fork that everything hinges on. If the answer was in what they learnt, or in the documents you gave it, the most likely text is the true text. You get a correct answer. But if it wasn't, there's no little voice saying, stop, you don't actually have this. The model has no separate fact checker inside it. No moment where it compares its answer to the real world and pulls the alarm. It just keeps doing the one thing it does, predicting plausible text. So it fills the gap with something that sounds right, a policy that sounds like a policy, a citation that looks like a citation, a statistical shaped like a real one. And notice what's missing from that loop. A truth check. Correct answers and made up ones come from the exact same process. That's why the AI can't reliably tell you which is which. and why it sounds equally sure of both. Now, modern models do push back more than older ones. They can reason step by step, they hedge more often, and reasoning genuinely cuts the error rate. But reasoning is still prediction, just careful prediction. It narrows the gap. It doesn't install a fact checker that isn't there. Give the model nothing solid to stand on, and a confident guess is still what comes out. Let's make this concrete. A real one that costs businesses money. You've rolled out an AI assistant for your support team. A customer asks, what's your refund window? Your actual policy is 14 days, but you never fed that policy to the AI. So what does it do? It doesn't say, I don't have your refund policy. It predicts the most likely sounding answer. And across the whole internet, the most common refund window is 30 days. So it says warmly and confidently, you have 30 days for a full refund. 3 things just happened, and they're worth pulling apart. 1, it had no grounding. You never gave it the real policy. 2, it filled the gap with the statistically common answer, not your answer. 3, it delivered that guess in the same confident voice it uses for everything. Now, you've got a paper trail of your own AI promising terms you don't offer. And here's the pattern to take away. Hallucination clusters exactly where it hurts. Your specific facts, your prices, your policies, your people, your numbers. The general stuff, what's a refund, it nails. The stuff that's yours, the stuff it was never shown, is where it quietly improvises. Which is the opposite of what most people assume. They trust it most on the details that matter. And those are the details it's least equipped to know. So where should your guard be highest? Let's be specific. Name sources, ask for a citation, a study, a court case, and it can invent one, complete with authors and a year. It's been shaped like a real reference, but it's never existed. Numbers and dates, stats, prices, deadlines, version numbers, anything precise. A plausible number is easy to generate and very hard to eyeball wrong. Recent events, if it happened after the model was trained, it has no record of it, so it guesses, often without telling you. Your private world, your internal docs, your customers, your systems, it was never shown them, so it fills it in. And the thread running through all of these, the tone never shifts. A human expert slows down, hedges, says, I think, or let me check. The model gives you its wildest guess in the same steady, articulate voice as its safest fact. There's no built-in uncertainty meter you can read off, so you can't use confidence as your guide. It feels like you can, but you can't. That single fact should reshape how you use it. So how do you get the upside without the landmines? Don't ban the tool, position it. It comes down to one question. Did you ground it or are you guarding it? On one side, you ground it. The single most effective fix is to give the model the facts. Paste the policy, attach the document, feed it the data. When the true answer is right there in front of it, the most likely text becomes the correct text. You're no longer relying on its memory. Ask it to quote its source from what you gave it. If it can't point to the passage, treat the claim as a guess and lean on it freely for the things it's genuinely good at. Drafting, summarizing what you provide, rewriting tone, explaining ideas, and brainstorming. On the other side, you can guard it. Anything high stakes, legal, financial, medical, verify it before you act. Any specific fact, name, number, or citation, check it against the source every time. And that give it the facts instinct, that's not a workaround, it's becoming the core technique of serious AI systems, retrieving the right documents and handing them to the model before it answers. So it's reading rather than guessing. It has a name, and it's the next deep dive in this series. For now, the rule is simple. A grounded AI is a tool. An unguarded one is a confident stranger. So, 3 things to carry out of this. 1, a hallucination isn't a malfunction. It's a predictor doing its job with nothing solid to stand on. A plausible guess in a confident voice. 2, there's no truth check step inside the model, so it sounds equally sure whether it's right or wrong. You can't trust the confidence. 3, the fix is grounding. Give it your facts, ask for the source, and verify anything that matters. Get that, and you stop being surprised by your AI and start directing it. Next door, we go deeper on grounding itself. What is RAG, and why it's how serious businesses make AI tell the truth.